We're going to be starting a new series where I watch the adaptation of a book. I one day want to work in adapting books for the screen, whether that be film or TV. And so obviously I have an interest in watching other TV and film adaptations. I feel like we have got quite a few coming out both this year and next year. We are going to start off with watching the TV show For Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. I believe the series is called Every Year After. I'm not 100% sure why they changed the name, but I know it is different. And this TV show has actually been renewed for a second series, and that series is going to be based off of One Golden Summer, which I'm actually reading right now. I am about 115 pages in. I feel like this is the perfect time to watch the TV show because I feel like it's going to make me even more excited for the second series, which will make me more excited to continue reading the book. So I feel like this will be the perfect time. Also, there are quite a few other TV series that I want to watch. I definitely want to watch Off Campus, but I haven't yet read the book, and the same for the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. That is a recommendation my mum has been giving me for absolutely ages. So those two series are ones that are on my list to read and watch this summer. For any series or films that I haven't yet read the book for, I will bring you guys along for me reading the book as well as watching the adaptation. I believe I did read Every Summer After in a reading vlog, so if I did, I will link it in the description or like an iCard or whatever they're called. If you want to watch me reading that, then you can, but if you don't and you just want a quick brief of my thoughts on the book, I didn't absolutely love it, but I did really enjoy the vibes of it. That is what made me want to pick up One Golden Summer, but also because I feel like everyone raves about this book, and I think the general consensus is that it is better than the first one. Now, I do love a second chance romance, and the first book is a second chance romance, so I feel like that is something that I'm gonna be excited to watch. I also recently watched Finding Emily, and I believe the main character in Every Year After is in that film. I'm pretty sure she is, and I did enjoy her in that, so I think it would be interesting to watch her in something else. I also have seen one of my favourite YouTubers, Larry. She went and stayed. They did like a PR event where they got a bunch of creators to go and stay where they filmed the TV show for this, which was crazy, and I loved watching her vlog for that. So that really made me want to watch the TV show even more because the vibes just look immaculate. I think I'm going to start the TV show tonight, and I am not 100% sure how I'm going to film this. I think I'm just going to give you guys updates at the end of each episode, and then also if something happens or like I have a thought I want to share with you guys, I will just pick up the camera. I'm very excited to watch the show. I feel like I'll probably enjoy it more than the book just because I'll be able to see the whole setting and just all the vibes of it that I really loved about the book. I feel like it will be so nice to be completely, like, even more immersed in it by seeing it visually rather than just my imagination. For those of you who don't know, the book follows Charlie and Sam, who are two brothers, and then also Percy, and I think she is the main character. I'm not sure. I don't think we get dual POV. I think you just get Percy, and it also follows an alternate timeline. So you get Percy going to Barry's Bay, where the Florrick brothers, Charlie and Sam, live. And Percy would spend her summers there, going back and seeing them every single year growing up, like throughout their early teens to late teens, I think it is. You follow a sort of like the budding relationships there, the friendships and feelings that some of the characters have for the others. And then in the present timeline, you are following Percy as she's going back to Barry's Bay for the first time in quite a few years, I think it is. Charlie was my favourite character in the first book out of literally all the characters. But I'm going to stop yibber yapping. I will see you guys when I am starting episode 1. I'm sorry if the fan blows like air across the mic, but it is so hot in here, so I have to have it on. I'm also sorry if you can hear it, but I'm not planning on talking for majorly long. I am about to watch the first episode of Every Year After. I am so excited. I think I've only got time for one episode tonight before I need to be like winding down and going, like getting ready to go to sleep. But I read a few pages of One Golden Summer this afternoon, and I think I literally read like 5 pages just because that's all I had time for. But I am gonna watch an episode, and then if I'm not ready to sleep when the episode is finished, I will be reading some more of One Golden Summer, and I am so excited. We're gonna watch it.
For those of you who might not know me,
I couldn't remember calling the intro. I just finished episode 1 and I am really enjoying it, but it is time for me to go to bed. So I'm not gonna watch episode 2 tonight, but I do really want to. So far I am really enjoying it, but I am a bit confused by something quite insignificant. But I thought Charlie was blonde, and on the cover, presuming that that's them on the cover, he looks very blonde, and I just, in my head, he was blonde. Have I been imagining that? I don't know. But I also feel like the younger Sam looks nothing like him. Like, it just doesn't feel believable to me. And I know it probably can be quite hard to cast different ages of a certain character and have them look believable and alike, but I just feel like he looks absolutely nothing like it. So unbelievable. Yeah, that's the only like gripe I have with the show right now. Okay, I'm just laying in bed resting, and I've got the show on. I just finished episode 2, and so far I'm really enjoying it. The young Delilah casting was so good. Like Charlie and Percy's castings of the younger versions of them, I do really like. Sam's just doesn't fit for me personally. Nothing against the actor, I just don't feel like he looks that much like a younger version of the older Sam, if that makes sense. Whereas young Delilah, that is, like, I felt like that was pretty accurate. Let's start episode 3. I have now watched, I think, 3 or 4 more episodes since I last spoke to you guys. I think I watched the first 2 episodes, or maybe 3, since I last spoke, like when I last spoke to you. I also have made progress with One Golden Summer. I'm now about halfway. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm on page 206, and it looks to be actually just over halfway, but I don't know, I'll look on Goodreads later and see what percentage I am through the book. But I'll talk about my updates for Every Year After right now, like first. But I am really enjoying the show. After I first watched it, I was very excited to watch the next episode, and then after that one I wasn't as excited, but I think that's just because I'd started rewatching Gilmore Girls again. So I think it was just because I wanted to watch Gilmore Girls. I don't think it was actually because of the show itself. Also, we finally have got to like the big reveal now where I'm at, which is like throughout like loads of the book and then throughout the first few episodes of the show, is you do know that there is something that Percy did that messed up everything. And I have just like got to the bit where you find that out. Obviously I already know what it is because I read the book, but obviously it's like a pivotal moment in the show as it is in the book. And one thing I will say that I really love about the show and that I think has done really well is the flashbacks. Just like the way that it transitions into the flashbacks is you you're not confused. It just feels natural, like it feels like how the characters would experience it if they have a flashback of that memory. It doesn't feel random, it feels very relevant to what is going on. So I am very much enjoying that. And then as for One Golden Summer, I am enjoying this, and once I pick it up and I read a few pages, I feel like I'm reading a decent amount of pages in one go. Like, I'm not just picking up and reading like 10 pages. Like, I'm really wanting to pick it up, and I love Charlie. I adore Charlie, and I feel like the further I get into the show, the more I want to read this book, because he says things like, you know, he's not long-term relationship material, he doesn't do long-term, no one would want to be in a long-term relationship with him, and not like in a pick-me way, like that might have sounded like a pick-me way, but just like the way that it's written in this so far, and also how like the hints he drops in the show it's just making me more and more like intrigued, because I wanna find out why. Like, I wanna know the real reason why he's so adamant that no one would wanna do that with him. Okay, there's 370 pages and I'm on page 206. So we've got 150 pages of this left, basically. I will say it is definitely taking me longer because I am reading it physically. It just takes me longer to read physical books than it does like ebooks. I just want to read more and more about Charlie. I do really like Alice and her grandma, and just the dynamic that they have there, and also the dynamic that Charlie has with the two of them. It is really sweet, and just like everything that Charlie like is saying and doing as well is like, he feels a bit like an actual serviceman. Look, I am crying just a little bit, so that's good. These are both tears of sadness and happiness. I finished One Golden Summer. I think I'm gonna rate this like a 4.25 maybe, or maybe a 4, like a 4.25, just because I wasn't hooked. Like, it's taken me like 2.5 weeks to read it, which is on the longer side for me. I'm pretty happy with it. I did really enjoy it, and just Charlie Flark. That is all I have to say. I will speak to you guys when I finish the next episode of the show. I'm pretty sure I have 2 episodes left. I watched about half of episode 6 and all of episode 7 last night, and I was really enjoying it. I am, like, when I sit down to watch it, I don't want to stop watching, but I'm not finding myself like, oh my god, like I can't wait to watch it, I want to watch it right now. Like, I'm not feeling that way about it, but I have got one episode left and I am excited to watch it now, but also kind of sad. And I think once I watch it, like when the episode's finished, I'm gonna go through and find the differences between the TV show and the book, because I have been seeing some people saying like the show's, oh my god, the biggest bee I've ever seen just went slap bang into the window. It was generally like that big. That's crazy. Anyway, I have been seeing a lot of people say like the show wasn't even anything like the book, and like it's just completely different. They have announced season 2, which is based off of One Golden Summer, and people are like, oh, can you actually adapt the book this time and all this and that. And I, so far, like there is a few differences that I know are different from the book, but I am really enjoying it, and I'm not thinking like, oh, why do they do that, like it doesn't make sense. Like in my eyes, everything they've done has made sense. So yeah, but also the book wasn't like one of my favourite books or anything, so I don't know if maybe it's because like I'm a little bit less detached from the book, or maybe it's because I'm less detached from the book I can see what actually has been good that they've done differently. I've got a little hot coffee, which I haven't had in so long. We're gonna pop the show on my laptop.
Sam! Sam!
I love it. I love it. Okay, my immediate thoughts are I absolutely love the Easter egg at the end. The actual ending had me by surprise. I actually really like the ending. Besides, right at the end, I'm a bit like, but also it does make sense knowing what I know from the second book, One Golden Summer. But I'm gonna take a day to like think about my final thoughts, and then I will see you guys tomorrow for a proper like final thoughts and wrap up and everything. I thought I would just Google the differences between the TV show and the book and just talk you guys through my opinions on it. There is a few that I can think of, but I'll go through, like I'm just gonna find like a list or something. I'm sorry if you can hear all the background noise, but upstairs are renovating, the windows are closed, but I think you might still be able to hear it. Some of the main differences is the setting. So Barry's Bay is a real town in Ontario and Percy's from Toronto. The TV show shifts the setting to the west coast, taking place in a fictionalised version of Barry's Bay in British Columbia. I did think it was weird that Percy was from Seattle. In the book, Percy's at a home decor magazine. In the show, she's demoted to a melancholy obituary writer, a job choice meant to reflect her decade-long guilt and stalk career. Yeah, I can see how that works. I don't really have an opinion on that one because, to be honest, I didn't even really notice a difference. I'll do the spoilery bits at the end so that anyone who doesn't want to watch the spoilers can click off. So in the show, Delilah is a permanent resident of Barry's Bay, which I did realise was a difference, and she's having an affair with Charlie, which also is a difference, which when it first came on I was like, I don't remember this, but obviously I knew that there would likely be some sort of differences between the book and the show. I really don't mind that, like I think it adds to the show, and I also thought that like the friendship that forms with Delilah and Percy and Chantal as adults I really liked. And I knew that Delilah and Chantal you don't actually see them as adults in the book. Delilah and Percy drift apart when they like some time before they become like adults, and so you don't actually see or hear from Delilah in the adult timeline of the book. And with Chantal in the book, is she only appears through text and phone calls, but I felt like her being there added so much to the TV show, and I also enjoyed her actual storyline too. I feel like it really did add a lot more to it. I think where they've made it TV shows, they've wanted to give a few other storylines alongside the main ones. Obviously, you've got the storyline with Delilah, you've got the storyline with Chantal and with Geordie. I did enjoy that. And then as for the spoilery things, is the cheating changed. So in the book, Percy sleeps with Sam's brother Charlie because Sam becomes distant while at college. In the show, Sam breaks up with Percy via email before she sleeps with Charlie. I actually think that this was a really good change, because the thing that I didn't like about the book was the cheating aspect. I didn't like, and the fact that it was with his brother, I didn't like it at all, and I felt like it was quite out of character, whereas Percy and Sam having split up before actually makes a lot more sense to me and makes it more forgivable, because she didn't actually cheat on him. Whereas if she did, I wouldn't be rooting for them to get back together in the present timeline. The reveal in the novel, Sam finds out Percy slept with Charlie shortly after it happens, whereas in this show, Sam is in the dark for years and only finds out in the present day. I have mixed opinions on this one, because I think when Sam found out, I was kind of just like impatient, like I didn't really care for it, and I was just waiting for him to come back around, if that makes sense, because obviously reading the book I knew he does. I don't know how I feel about that one, because like I said, I wasn't like a die-hard fan of the book. It wasn't one of my favourite books ever. So I feel like I feel less strongly about it going a certain way. But I also, whilst I was like very shocked at the way things happened in every summer after, is I was surprised, but I was also kind of like, oh, is that it? To be honest, it's been over a year since I've read it now. So I don't really remember what my thoughts were other than what I just said now. The only big changes I noticed were, one, I was thinking, well, isn't Percy Canadian, not American? That I did notice, and I did think, like, does it make any sense? Like, I do wonder why they changed that. So I think I might like try and read like an article or watch like a video or something about how they decided what changes to make, because that's something that interests me. So I think I might do that. Yeah, I don't know. I also like absolutely love the way the flashbacks were done in this series. I really loved it. I do feel that I felt more chemistry between Percy and Sam when I'm watching like the like PR stuff that they're doing, like the actual actors. I'm seeing more chemistry there than I really remember seeing on scene, on the actual show itself, which is not really the way that you want it. It should be the other way around necessarily, like the other way around. But yeah, I will say like Sam and Percy aren't my favourite book couple or TV couple or whatever, but like I said, the actual book itself wasn't one of my favourites, so I'm a little bit more detached from the characters, whereas some of the adaptations that are coming out next year or whenever are some of my all-time favourite book couples, like the Chestnut Springs series, Rose Hill series that's coming out, the Mindfuck series is getting an adaptation. I think that's next year, I think it is, that it comes out. I'm not actually 100% sure, but like those are some of my favourite book couples, so it might be that like I'm a lot more attached to it, if that makes sense. But what I'll say is I love the setting, and I did enjoy the actors, the characters, and all of that. There was one scene and I watched it and I was like, what the fuck? And it's the ice cream scene, and I was like, that was just, it was not necessary. It felt like one of those scenes where the character was like trying to be cool and it just did not pay off. Like, at all. That is kind of like my final thoughts. As for One Golden Summer, I absolutely loved it, and I'm so excited for that adaptation, which is going to be season 2 of Every Year After. I think as well it also, they did change the name from Every Summer After to Every Year After, and I did just read that it was to like expand the story beyond just the book, which I feel like it does make sense. Also because obviously the next book is about Charlie, so it isn't about Sam and Percy. While Sam and Percy is still in the book, I think like it makes sense calling it Every Year After rather than Every Summer After. But I'm just checking now, so I want to see what the book series is called. Yeah, it's called Barry's Bay. So yeah, it makes sense to me that they call it Every Year After. I was really like, why did they do it at first? But now that I've actually read it, it makes complete sense. But yeah, I'm going to leave it as that, and I will see you guys soon.